Well, today he kind of wants to work a little bit on that bulldozer again, so that's where we're headed right now. Yeah, but they're not. Tear them apart and see what you find. And we got the clutches put back in. We got to tip it up on its nose to do that. So now it's a matter of starting buttoning things back together. So this valve body is good or bad?
It's bad.
Yeah, it looks like all those spools are pretty rusted up.
Oh,
everything's seized up, yeah.
Yeah, the other one I've got is better.
All right, but you're trying to get the brake actuator gizmos.
Yeah, I was hoping that maybe these would be better because they were sealed up with the nuts and the hoses and stuff. But
yeah,
they're just as bad.
They're all rusted up. But that's what happens when things sit around for 20 years.
Yeah.
Outside. It does happen. So anyway, you're going to work on that, and then eventually we'll get this thing put back in the dozer. See what it does.
It's close.
Cover's going on. Ooh, look at that. You're lining everything up. Nice, nice. Hope I'm not making you nervous.
You are. I might need a mallet, Dad.
Mallet? Hammer and a block of wood. Wow. I didn't expect it to be that
it's pretty precision.
hard to get on, yeah.
Precision because it actually is a bearing carrier.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, it's got dowel pins too, I see. Yeah, so that thing's got to be spot on. You're getting it.
It is.
It'd be funny if that cracked.
Oh, I got another one.
Yeah, I know, but...
So it's a funny that I could get over pretty quick.
You got it. Look at that. It looks great.
Good enough.
All right. So Connor got his little tool bag out, and he's putting stuff back together out here and prepping for putting the trans back in it. It's kind of warm today. It's the last day of the year, 1985.
1985.
Okay, maybe it's 86. I don't remember. What year is it?
Yeah, okay, Marty.
Marty. What, you jump off a ship or something?
Get us for copyright, just for
Yeah, there you go.
alluding to a movie.
Yeah, I know. Alluded to a movie. Oh, actually, it's the last day of really not a great year, I don't think. But we had a good year. But
2022?
2022,
It sure was.
kind of a dumb year. Man, you're really putting that on there tight, ain't you?
Yeah, I don't want it, coming off and hit me in the toe.
Whatever. You won't have your toe anywhere near it.
That's right where your toes are.
So anyway, we got new suck hoses for it. We got some new hoses for it. Just the ones that are going to be hard to get to. And just that runs into money. I mean, we got a couple $100 on that.
$200, $200.
Yep.
You're $1,000 in miscellaneous things.
Yep.
I mean, that's what the brakes are going to be. So we really want to see if it works first.
Yeah.
Because that's another $400 on top of everything.
Yep. Well, we're pretty sure it'll work, aren't we?
I'm like 85% sure. The 15% is whether or not I got to rebuild this torque converter or not. Which is this.
Yeah, that whole scenario.
Which you can get out even if the transmission's in, so.
Not easy.
You drop it down. I read the book.
Oh, I see. Those bolts around the perimeter come out. So this housing actually holds the motor and trans. That's the big bell housing, and then this is the torque converter part.
Yeah, you take the little bell housing. You got to take this cover off, and you've got to undo the flex plate.
Oh, yeah.
Rotating it and blah, blah, blah. You go all the way around these ones, and then you get a hoist, because this thing weighs like 1,000 pounds.
1,000 pounds?
Probably should take the hydraulic.
We have to take all that stuff off.
You got to at least take the hydraulic pump off, because otherwise it'll hit that.
Looks like the charge pump, it hit it too, that cross beam.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, let's hope that ain't the problem, or ain't a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing moved, so.
Yeah. I mean, it's got bearings in it, and when they start to loosen, you lose your tolerance.
Then it stops moving.
Things could hit each other, you lose pushing power, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it seemed like it had power to go once.
Don't imagine that this is wore out. How many hours on this thing?
Does it tell you anywhere?
No, it doesn't.
There's no hour meter anywhere.
We knocked it out.
It's that big hole right there. That was the hour. That was the hour meter.
Probably.
Glad we don't have to change that hose. That was changed. We didn't have to buy that hose. Wow.
Well, you see,
that's the big hose that comes off the main pump. We got to make sure that's routed right, Connor, when we go up with it.
We could just leave this in here, then we could socket it on later.
Okay.
And then we could socket that hose on later.
That other hose on later.
Otherwise, we're trying to, make this work. These go up like that over the drive shaft.
Is that where that goes?
Yeah.
I thought it goes to the charge pump. This thing goes to the charge. Well, that comes from the bottom, goes through there, then that goes down through.
First, it goes to this screen.
Okay.
Through here.
Oh, I see. That pipe goes to the charge pump.
Then this one goes to the charge pump.
Okay.
Exactly.
I got it. Mm-hmm. All right.
Then all the return stuff gets filtered through the real filter.
Okay.
before it goes into the.
So that's a bypass filter, really, the real filter. This one, no matter what gets sucked up, goes through this screen.
It's got a bypass spring too.
Does it?
Yeah, in case it gets sucked up too much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Groovy. And we got to make sure this big hose is up in the right position because that comes up and around. We can't do that after the trans is in.
No, you can't. So
we got to make sure.
We're gonna have to strap it up to there.
Yeah. And there it is. You got her all done so far.
Mostly done.
Got the brakes latched on front.
Yeah.
You got you still got the valve body, but that can go on later.
Yes, I can. But I got this sitting here, so nothing huge falls in there.
Right. Yeah. But we got her together. Looking good, Con.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much ready to go. And it turns correctly, and it's got brakes on it.
We wound up having to reuse the old yoke, even though we wanted to change it because we just didn't have better stuff. Maybe that's one we got to do Allen keys on.
Yeah, well, we could do that lader. I think we'll get lots of hours out of it first. It doesn't have back and forth impact. It's all one motion.
I know.
So
I just don't like slop.
not bad. How many hours you put on something before it gets slop like that? Before the keys get sloppy?
20?
20 hours?
Before the keys get sloppy?
Yeah.
They latch, they lock, they roll like a sprag clutch.
Well, it must have been put together loose or something like that, so it could do a little bit of jostling.
Yeah, these aren't a cat. These old cases are not a cat.
No, they're not.
The old cats kind of would just go and go and go. Old cases, I don't think they're as rugged.
No, they're not built as good.
Just not. Not that we don't love it still.
I mean, it's got its purpose. I wouldn't put it in a stone quarry and start ripping, maybe.
No.
I don't know, we'll see.
Yep. Connor's treading in our high-dollar new hoses.
Yeah.
I got these suck hoses. The old ones were just crusty and old and brittle and hard. And I just didn't want them leaking. To change them, you got to dump all the oil out. If one blew, it would dump all the oil out. We don't want that, so. You know right where all these go, don't you? Okay. Close enough.
Close enough.
All right, so you're going to keep prepping that. Almost up to 700 subscribers. What? 990 something, I think. Well, anyway. Like, share, subscribe.
You're almost up to 700 subscribers. You got 990 something?
That didn't make any sense, did it?
No.
Oh, I got 690 something. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't math.
Oh my gosh.
But I know one thing, if I get up to 1,000, all my dreams will come true.
If you don't know what the numbers are, it doesn't matter how many you have.
That's a good point. It really doesn't matter how many I have anyway.
Not really.
Well, they're having a good time. And boy, are we. 40 degrees outside, out in the cold rain, dank Saturday morning.
I love it.
Yeah, I know.
Good weather.
It is nice weather.
Very nice.
Nothing like a little global warming. Warming right up. That's the hose that sprayed me when it blew last time.
Yeah. All of a sudden you want to buy new hoses.
Well, torque converter pressure only goes up to 100 pounds, Connor. Yeah. That ain't nothing to write home about.
That line that I just put on is transmission pressure.
Oh, is that different?
It is.
Oh, that's torque converter pressure. And this is transmission pressure. That goes up to 400. Then we got amperes, which doesn't do much. And we're holding 20 pounds of oil pressure now, which is pretty good since it hasn't been running in a year. Water temperature's good. And then there's torque converter temperature. So if it gets too hot, it warns you. I bet that's not hooked up no-how.
That black wire that goes down there, but I doubt it works.
This guy? Sure it works. It's a bulb.
Is it?
Well, yeah, that'll work. As long as it didn't get mangled. That'll work. Cool. Another big plus.
I'm going to do this at another time so we could keep rolling on getting the transmission in place. Maybe.
In? Yeah, I don't care. As long as we don't start it up and shoot oil under the hood.
We get the transmission in place with 2 bolts in it, or even just 1.
Start putting things together.
Then we're good, because I can do all that stuff alone even.
Alone? You're doing it alone now. I'm just standing here with a camera in my hand.
The one thing I can't do alone is run that and feed it in, kind of.
Yeah, whatever.
That'd be hard.
I could do it.
Probably.
You know what's weird though? I've been thinking about this. Remember how we set the shims in that final drive and everything?
Yeah.
If you didn't put enough shims in the final drive, it would tighten up the whole thing. You wouldn't be able to get it between here on both sides. That's a pretty precision fit. And that don't look like it moves a whole lot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, sure, it moves like crazy.
Uh-huh.
There's probably shims you put in here. I didn't read it.
There's shims there for there too?
Wouldn't surprise. What a good point.
Yeah.
What a valid observation.
Yeah. I come up with them. All right, well, I'm going to get out of your hair. Well, it looks like we got everything in there spinning, so there's still some more stuff to button up, but that's got to wait for the next video. So like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll see you guys on the next one.